Welcome to VHXS, I'm your host Jake Salvage, and this month, it's...
Feb-Bolo-Yeung-Uary.
Who's Bolo-Yeung, you ask stupidly? Bolo-Yeung's big break was in 1973's Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. Later on, Bolo would get his biggest break ever in Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van-Damme. A year later, he would break away from his character Chong Li from Bloodsport in the movie BloodFight as Chung Li, the Vietnamese Cobra. That's the movie we're reviewing right now.
BloodFight is the kind of title that promises two things, and will disappoint if it only delivers on one, or God help it, none. But in place of eating and sleeping, Bolo-Yeung subsists on legal murder via fighting tournament and ingests the blood of his enemies via osmosis, so we're sure to see both. The plot, which thinly veils Bolo's nutritional needs in this case, centers around Masahiro Kai, played by Yasuaki Kurata, a gym owner and has-been who wishes he had beaten the final guy in a martial arts tournament years ago, which is kinda like a sensei's version of reliving the pass he got sacked on after totally choking in the last few seconds of the big game in varsity football all those years ago. And just like a washed-up high school star QB turned Quiznos manager, he goes out in search of someone to vicariously live through / forced to do things he didn't. Meanwhile, his wife Susie Wong, played by Meg Lam, gets sick of his shit and divorces him.
Enough! I don't care what you do, anything!
What's up her ass?
Kai's first trainee pick is your favorite 80s action movie stereotype, Stuart, played by Stuart Smith, who leads the local street punks like he's auditioning for a role in River City Ransom. It's not clear if this was a ploy to have Bolo-Yeung destroy this little shit by crushing him between his pecs, which would have been a brilliantly orchestrated pec crushing.
Kai, he's no good, and you know it. You bastard!
But Kai learns quickly that letting a guy one apocalypse short of being a Mad Max extra loose on the world after teaching him super punches yields the kind of results you'd expect.
If I knew how to do this, I could beat the shit out of anybody.
After harassing the wrong girl, Millie McKenzie, played by Anzu Lawson, Stuart and the Toughs get their asses handed to them by the wrong girl's BF, Ryu Tenmei, played by Simon Yam, as Kai looks on.
I'm sorry for what he's done to you. Where did you learn those moves?
I learned it from my father who died when I was a little boy.
Beautiful.
He dumps Stuart and starts stalking Ryu in the most ham-fisted way since Bolo-Yeung got hungry waiting for bacon and punched two pigs so hard they got impaled on his arms. Initially, Ryu is turned off by the idea of training with Kai because he believes his use of martial arts only needs to be good enough to defend his girlfriend, which might explain why Super Mario hasn't enacted his galaxy-wide dominance via element-based power-up kung fu.
It's in your blood.
No, I won't do it. I know enough skills to protect Mary, and that's all I need. I mean it. I don't need to go to his gym. I know how to protect you.
Ryu's sexist but standard for the 80s ideals are quickly tossed aside when Punk Squad comes back for revenge, this time packing more weapons than your standard Streets of Rage traffic cone. Beat right the fuck up, Ryu comes literally crawling back to Kai and begs him for the training Kai offered in the first place, which is initially rebuffed because of this fucking movie, right?
I want to be strong. I have to. I won't forgive them.
No, I will not teach you. You just want revenge.
Montage!
Come on, follow me.
Ironically, Ryu's training with Kai ends up upsetting Millie enough that she leaves him.
I can't bear the thought of you getting hurt! No.
What's up her ass?
And he also decides he no longer wants revenge against the street punks, so Kai persuades Ryu to enter the fighting tournament he's still got a huge boner for.
This is too easy.
Ryu then wins every match, including the one with face-tattooed Vietnamese Cobra Chang Li, played by Bolo-Yeung, reclaims the love of his girlfriend, wins the respect of his boss, or friend, or whoever, he's just kinda in the movie for some reason, and makes Kai proud. If you believe that, you don't know Bolo-Yeung, son. Bolo breaks Ryu so hard that chiropractors use this movie as a training video to show newcomers how not to crack someone's bones. Bolo erases Ryu from existence so utterly that he renders the first hour of this movie purposeless, with the side effect of instantaneously making Kai perma-drunk. Kai runs into the punks again, and despite being plowed out of his mind, dispatches them with ease. He also runs into his ex-wife, who's doing very well with her new hubby, thanks for asking.
I'm Mrs. Ling now, wife of a company intestine.
The punks show up a final time to try to ram Kai with a jeep, which works, and they cut their losses and leave the movie. Eventually, John O'Brien, played by John Ledelsky, shows up and explains that Lee's gym has offered Kai's gym a special match, but since Kai doesn't have anyone, John tells him that Kai should fight.
I'm just kidding. Who wants to train a bum like you?
Psych! Millie shows up after visiting Ryu's grave with Ryu's old boss or friend, or seriously, why is he there? And tells Kai he's an asshole for giving up on beating Bolo since Ryu's death would be for nothing.
Was all this for nothing?
Kai takes up John on his dickish offer and starts to train to fight Bolo.
Is he serious? Fight against Lee?
Montage number 2.
I am not dumb. I'm killing a man. I will send the guy to where Liu is now.
Kai and Lee get into the ring, and Kai immediately uses his My Face attack on Bolo's fists. This attack works better than expected, and after Kai suffers a severe case of Bolo vision, he has a flashback to Millie being a bitch again, which motivates him to change up his strategy. The fight continues until Kai unrealistically beats Bolo and then spares his life as Millie, Ryu's former boss, seriously, is his friend or his boss? Hire someone new. His ex-wife and her new husband look on.
That movie was awesome. Bolo-Yeung killed someone. Rad. I would like to issue a retraction about my review. In the beginning, I say that Kai actually is a washed-up karate arts expert. He's actually just old. When he was fighting originally, he was the best in his class, and that makes the movie that much more fucked up that he would send Ryu off to his death just to, I don't know, preserve his legacy or something. I don't know. Sweet movie, though. Watch it. This has been VHXS with Jake Salvage. Like, subscribe, share, go to my Facebook page, and also, as always, check out peanutbutterdisaster.com for more hilarious internet reviewers.
Peanut butter disaster.